And it's about to be winter, so I can get my exercise in this way. Okay, I have to pee so bad right now.
Country. So instead of like swallowing her birth control pill like you're supposed to do, which, you know, that's how it works the best, she put it up her.
There are some days where I literally just have to come home and like literally sage myself.
Kansas, princess, crazy mother trucker, undercover lover, found. Wow. There was the guy that peed in the bushes.
She would walk around in other people's shoes. Like she walked into
Like literally?
Yes.
Not like the saying?
No, literally. She would walk around in other patients' shoes. She was just like, hallelujah. She was there because she set her house on fire with her husband and 3 children inside of it.
Sleeping on the floor, face on the ground in the hallway. Hey guys, it's Zoe. Welcome back to my channel. I have Amelia, my special guest. She's been in VLOGMAS, so those videos will be linked down below. We're going to be doing more, maybe one day when we have time. But I will link her channel down below as well. She's finally editing her morning routine, so check that out. It should be up soon. She has amazing editing skills, like honestly. So we are going to do a get ready with us. I'm shedding. I'm literally shedding. Will you wet my sponge?
Yes. You have to wet these?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
What? It helps not absorb all the makeup. Well,
Do you have to?
I mean, that doesn't work if you don't.
What?
Did you not know that?
No,
Oh, that's not. You gotta like squeeze. It's gonna get bigger.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wait, hold up. Let me wet my sponge.
Yeah, you squeeze it under the water. And then
I
you dry it off.
genuinely did not know that.
Well, we are off to a great start, you guys. We both work at a psychiatric hospital, and we were going to try to talk about it without, like, you know, giving out too much information or offending people. Obviously, this video is not supposed to offend anyone. It's just because we both are working there, and we work in different departments, so we see different things. And we both are in school for social work, so obviously it's not to, you know, make fun of people. I mean, it's mental health. That's like what it is. It's a real thing. People are, you know, can get sick just like physically. Your brain can get sick. I work in the intake department. So what that means is when people come in to the building and they're getting, you know, the intake, then that's my job. So since I don't have my degree yet, I can't do the assessments. I can't give assessments. But it's my job to do everything but that. Like, I literally admit people, discharge people, give them their paperwork, fax their paperwork, take phone calls from patients and other hospitals about placement. Basically everything but the assessment I can do. And I'm kind of like the secretary or clerk for that department. And so it helps them out a lot when, you know, we get really busy. So the receptionist will check everyone in, and then I take it from there. I get vitals, which is really weird to me because I'm not in the nursing department at all, but it's fine. I get vitals. A lot of times I see people at their worst. A lot of times, you know, I try to be welcoming and try my best to like be patient with them because they're coming in a crisis basically. So that's my job, and then I get them back into the assessment room where they wait and have their assessment. And then the assessment determines, you know, if they meet criteria to stay, if they aren't safe, or if they get to start, you know, outpatient or something, or different referrals. And then if they do stay, I bring them to Amelia.
Well, I'm a tech, or a PCA, which stands for a patient care assistant. And I work on the unit with the patients. Isn't my job like the one that's like out of everywhere in the hospital, like we're the people who spend the most time with the patients?
Yeah, more than the nurses. Like, she's in the nursing department but not a nurse.
Basically there's 3 units in the hospital. There's Cedars, Sunrise, and Meadows. And Cedars is like SUD, which is like detox and
chemical dependency.
Yeah.
Rehab.
Yes.
All that kind of stuff.
Then there's Sunrise, which is like psychosis, schizophrenia, hallucinations,
Paranoia.
and that unit, you hear a lot of things when you walk past it. You really do.
Singing, crying, screaming, yelling, banging. There's banging.
Yeah.
What else?
Shrieking.
Obviously, we shouldn't laugh at it, but at the same time, when you work in this field, especially at a mental hospital, you have to kind of take things with a grain of salt and take it lightheartedly, because if you don't, everything will get to you.
I mean, obviously, like, we work there for a reason. we like to help people, and we want to make a difference in people's lives, but like some of it is funny.
It's hilarious because you're like, why?
When I walked in to that unit, like the first day I worked on that unit, I walked in and it was 6:30 in the morning. Like I was half awake. This was my first day working on that unit. So I walk in and I step 1 foot onto the unit, and there's this girl in my face, and she's singing at the top of her lungs, like opera. Like she was just like, hallelujah, and I'm just like, good morning to you too. Like,
Nice to see ya.
It really set the mood for the rest of my day. The last unit is Meadows. Gang, because that's my favorite unit. Not that I pick favorites, but and it's like the suicidal ideation unit. We get a lot of people with like borderline, bipolar,
sometimes homicidal thoughts.
yeah, mostly people come in for SI or SA, suicidal ideation or suicidal attempts. But we also do get some sunrise patients over there. There can be high acuity over there.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
Sometimes, especially if we don't have enough beds to fit everyone on the correct unit that they would meet criteria for, then you just got to do what you got to do. And sometimes it probably isn't good because we don't want to re-traumatize patients on accident by putting them on the wrong unit. But at the end of the day, it's about safety, so it is what it is. And if they're over there, you're like, well, sucks, but you can't leave here because you told me you wanted to jump off a cliff. So you're staying until you don't feel like that.
People describe Meadows as High School Musical. And it is true
click,
because
drama.
a lot of clicks, a lot of drama.
Yeah.
So basically, I actually don't even know what I do. People ask me this all the time. And it's just like a huge list. Like, I don't think people understand. We basically like babysit them all day. Like, the nurses talk to them occasionally, but like we literally take them from point A to point B. We help them with every single thing. We wake them up. We put them to bed. The PCAs lead an AM goals group and a PM wrap-up group. We do vitals. We have a lot of paperwork.
Intake is in an office setting. She wears scrubs. I wear business casual clothes. So it's two different things.
Yeah.
But everyone at the hospital is trained, obviously, you know, on CPI, like crisis prevention, CPR, all that kind of stuff. I'm basically, when they get there, and then if they stay, I bring them to her. And then she takes care of them.
And I'm like, why are you bringing me these fucking people?
And then they leave, and then I do that paperwork as well. So it's kind of like a cycle.
Yeah.
You know, one department doesn't work without the other. My first week of the job, I was training, and I was training during the weekdays. And the weekdays are a lot more chaotic and hectic in the intake department itself than they are on the weekends. It's busy,
crazy,
loud, constant
looks
movement.
Like a newspaper. Like how you see like newspaper offices, it literally looks like that.
Papers everywhere.
People running around.
The CEO, the business department that works with insurance, everyone's in that office because we need to know who's coming in, what time. People are on the phones are ringing back to back, kind of like a call center, but then like there's people talking in the background while you're on the phone, so then you're like, oh my god, I hope they don't hear me because
it's absolutely insane.
I, you know, was training, and they're like, hey, Zoe, do you want to go check on this patient in the, you know, assessment room and see if they need anything? And I was like, sure. You know, sure. That's my job. We also do 15-minute rounds while they're with us to make sure they're safe, make sure they don't need anything to eat or drink, just kind of walk around and check on them. This patient was at the time experiencing extreme psychosis. So I go into the room and I'm like, hey, do you need anything? You know, we got sandwiches. Do you need anything to eat? And he goes, I'll eat you. And I said,
I was saying that next time anyone asks.
That's not really appropriate, but like we have peanut butter and jelly or like snack bags, and he's like, no, I'll take you. We can cover up the cameras. And I'm like, no, we can't do that. So I leave and I tell my boss, and like, I wasn't even offended. She goes down there, she goes, that's not okay. He needs to know that's not appropriate. And I'm like, okay, so she storms down there. She's like, you cannot be saying that to my employees. He goes, well, I'm sorry, she just looks dateable. And she goes, well, none of my staff are dateable, and you're here to get help. I basically was told by a patient I was gonna get eaten in the first week.
That's awesome. That's actually a really good example of why we have to separate the units. Because I had an issue with a patient who was having similar problems, and was just openly masturbating. And
was that the pantless lady?
No, that was
so we're gonna call this girl Sister.
That's what I.
That's what she went by.
She's not a nun, to clarify,
but she thinks she is. Is that the best way to put it?
It's one of her delusions. Like she doesn't think she is. She knows she is.
She also had a trigger if you called her by her real name. So that's why she wanted to go by Sister.
Have to call her Sister.
So finally, after a whole year of her calling intake, we're like, she's never going to come in. This lady literally does not want to come in. She comes in and she shows up one day and actually stays and gets admitted onto her unit. When I think she really didn't need to be on that unit.
She did not need to be on my unit. She was a sunriser. Her conversations literally never end. I get it, like when someone's ranting to me, I'm like, yeah, I hear you. Like there are people who talk a lot, and there are people who talk a lot but don't make any sense whatsoever. One day, there were knives found in her room.
How? No one knows.
Like knives plural. And like
a bag of them or something?
Yes. And an electric razor. One day, all she said to me was, like all day, like she was just complaining about, I need a doctor. I need a doctor. Like I need to see a doctor. Mind you, she had seen the doctor earlier that day, but either she forgot or I don't know. Nothing, like I said, nothing she ever said made any sense. Sister, for once, was just kind of sitting there. She was like leaning up against the wall behind me, like looking up at the sky. And so I turned to her and I'm like, hey Sister, like, do you have a song request? And she looks at me, and immediately she looks at me and just goes, yeah, I Need a Doctor by Eminem. And I'm like, yeah, I think you already have. She was like, I'm about to lose my mind. I say, hey Sister, have you seen Melanie? And she looks up at me and she goes, I've seen everything. And I lost my fucking mind. I was like on the ground. Like I literally, like, you know how when you laugh so hard, like you're on the ground?
Your unit last weekend was full of
malodorous
and vomit and other bodily fluids. It was like a geriatric psych unit. Like old, like it literally, if you went down there, it was horrible. Which is funny because your unit's very like usually calm. People do their hygiene. It's just pretty mellow. A patient decided to poop.
Oh, multiple patients were pooping.
Oh, okay.
So we had 2 patients in 2 different rooms who were pooping a lot. We moved the 2 pooping people into the same room.
Well, then I was told that this one patient who decided to poop and roll around in it for whatever reason, she thought that was a good idea, then started to complain that it wasn't even her own poop. But my concern is, even if it was your own poop, why would you roll around in it in the first place?
It was her poop.
I get there for my shift it's not even 9 a.m. yet. Okay, I'm clocking in. I'm really just trying to get logged into my computer, disinfect everything. And one of the clinicians comes running in intake and she's like, so she's locked in the bathroom. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, in the lobby. She locked herself in the bathroom. She's refusing to come out. And I'm like, okay, hold on 1 second. Let me get my life together. So I'm like, what do you mean she's like not coming out? She's like, she went into the bathroom and won't respond and is refusing to leave the bathroom. So we're like, great, fantastic. So we called our house supervisor. Obviously we can get into the bathroom. We had to pry open the freaking hinges. So I'm holding this door open and come to find out this lady refuses to wear pants. So she came from another hospital and we were like, okay, where did her pants go? Mind you, she didn't have pants. She didn't come in with pants. They let her just ride in the ambulance with a blanket on. Okay, so she went into this bathroom. We thought she flushed the pants or something. No pants, nothing, not underwear, nothing. She's just like this. And we're like, hey, you know, do you need some scrub pants? Do you need something? Can we like get you out of? Did not respond. Just sat on the toilet, pantless. So we're like, okay, so no assessment for you. We don't think that you're gonna really respond. So we're just gonna take you to the unit because what else are we gonna do? She refused to get off the toilet and she refused to put pants on. So finally, they said either we're gonna carry you and make you very uncomfortable to the unit, or you can walk. And so she chose to walk, but they had to two people behind her and 2 people in front of her with a blanket, so they didn't flash everyone else. Walked her to the unit. Still refused to wear pants, so she had to stay in her room because she kept trying to walk out of her room without pants on for like 5 days. And she finally came to and took her medicine and felt a lot better. While she was not wearing pants, she also took her birth control pill, but instead of taking it, it's a birth control pill that you're supposed to take orally. You don't even know what I'm gonna say.
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
She put it up her. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. All of our other videos will be linked down below. Her channel will be linked down below if she ever actually posts her video. And if you guys have any questions and you want us to do a Q&A on working at a psychiatric hospital, let us know. Hopefully we gave you some good entertainment of a day in our life at work and what it looks like. And I'm just glad I don't work on the unit. Like, I'm sorry.
I'm glad I don't work in intake. I would lose my mind.
Like, we both are like, yeah. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you later. Bye.